Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is how to go from the incident list page to actually going into the call that you want to open to take over a command and control and get involved in the command and control portion. So we have no open calls right now, so it is set up to show me all our past box alarms. I'm going to click on the one here for 681 Congress Avenue. When you hit the arrow right here, that'll bring you into the main home page for the C&C program. It's going to load the information. We're going to start at the top left-hand corner. This round circle right here will take you back to the incident list page. Right next to the round circle for the incident list page, you'll see what's called a ribbon. That ribbon is going to be used when you get into the program a little further down. It helps you to create the shortcuts on the side, left-hand side of the page. I'll show you that. And that's to put the command structure and notation attachments on the left-hand side to quickly access them so you don't have to always come back to the home page. Right next to the shortcut ribbon, you're going to see the tab that's called Action Journal. This is where the incident management teams are going to use a lot. So this is for a box alarm, and this will pre-populate if we know the incident type. So right now, this one's set in. Here's the incident type, a box. And it's set up for a box. If you were to touch the Action Journal tab, it'll bring you into the Action Journal where it's listed and all that. We'll discuss the Action Journal and how to use it in another video. But by simply just touching the Action Journal tab again, will return you to your previous screen. Continuing to the right, you'll see here we have the address of the location, the length of time that the call has been going on, the alarm number right next to this. You'll see the alarm number and the type of alarm. If you were to hit the drop down here, and we'll explain this more in depth in a video that's just how to change or add a new incident type, this is where you would do it. Right next to this, and this is very important to know, almost all the time you want to have this at centrally managed. If you click this, you have two options. You can centrally manage it, which means it goes back to the public server, the city server, and we share that amongst all the tablets. If you hit manage locally, it's only going to be able to load on your tablet, and everybody else will only have a read only and will not be able to participate in sharing information. So it's very important to make sure that you try to stay centrally managed as long as you can. Next to that, you're going to see a publish button. This button here is used to take information from your tablet and publish it back to the city server so that anybody else on the call will have access to that. The highlighted blue button over here is always going to bring you back into the menu screen. Going back over to the left-hand side, you see here CAD resources. This lists all the resources that are assigned by CAD to the call. It is also going to give you their estimated time of arrival. It's going to also have their color of their status. So if they're just being dispatched, it'll be pink. If they're en route, it'll be yellow. If they're on scene, it's red. And if they're not, if they're available, it'll be green. Moving into the map section of it, the plus and minus sign again is to zoom in or zoom out. The bottom down here, you have to see the little setting, the cogwheel. This is where you can choose if you can create a quick annotation, which we'll talk about annotations down the road in a quick annotation. Also, you have an option of having no information, click for information, hover for information, and instant information. I like to leave it on no information because when you're using a touch screen, it can bring up information, get you confused. And I just simply click on it when I want to see information. So if you click on the hydrant, you'll be able to see that information. The problem is if you have it on hover, you could tend to, when you're using a touchscreen, to come up quick and get in your way, or even for click information, when you're touching the screen, you could tend to turn around and get information showing up on the screen, which can cause you problems. So I like leaving this. My personal preference. You can choose on whatever you like. Above here, you're going to see the bullseye, and that's just like the MDT. If you scrolled around the screen and you got off to where the call is called, if you want to bring that call back up, you just simply turn around and hit the bullseye sign, and that's going to turn around. That's going to turn around and bring the call to the center of the screen with the star right here, as you can see. It'll put it right here in the center of the screen. At the top of this here, you have an option where it says day. This is where you can change your map view. You can go from day, night, to firehouse occupancies, and you'll need to click on the end click to be able to open the firehouse occupancies. So if you want to use firehouse occupancies, and you'll see that it's going to put a lot of them on here and makes it difficult, they'll come up. But in order to open one, let's see, would not let you open it. But if you wanted to open it, you need to click on information, and then you can open up the call. So that's something that you need to remember with that. The area views are a nice view, but they take a longer time to load. They are much more detailed. The U.S. National Grid. You can also get a Google 360 of the property if it is available, and you can annotate from this page here. So you can get a Google 360 of it and do an annotation from here. And that is how you set up the map default that you would see within your screen. To go back to your screen. So we're here. This, as I said, I touched the ribbon and it just created the shortcuts for me and brought me back. If I wanted to go back to my main summary page, it's over here. So we'll go back into the main summary page to continue around. These are default benchmarks to the right here. Clicking them one time will give you a yes. This is recorded on the log, so we know when it is complete. If you hit it a second time, it'll tell you no. You hit it again, it takes it off. So the first click will give you a yes to tell you it was completed. Coming down here, you're going to see this is our logs, where you can go in here and get into the different type of logs that are available. Here's the CAD narrative logs, and then or your operational logs, and that is the information that you are entering. And again, if you want to go back to that main summary page, you hit over here. Another tab that the IMTs are going to use right off the bat and that you need quickly, you'll see that you're going to be using the accident journal, but the very first one you want to get into is this command structure one over here. You're going to want to hit this command structure, and we'll talk more in depth. This will be a video all on its own. This is where you actually get into the org chart and get around the program and dragging and assigning companies. The box, this is for a box, so it was preset how the org chart is laid out. You can always add to it, remove, or adjust the org chart as needed. But again, we will show that in a video in the future. This tells you how many annotations you have going on, incident action plans, PIPs for the call, how many PIPs. If you want to get into the PIPs that are surrounding the call, you can see them right here quickly and access them and get into them. And this is obviously the weather tab that you can hit, and it would open up the weather for the location that you can see. Our weather location you can see by a red line. And we'll discuss that in another video. But it draws a red line to the location of where the weather station is. Our weather station that is being used, we use comes out for Tweed New Haven Airport. The city is currently adding more weather stations around the city to give us more accurate information, even on the specific location. So this was just a quick overview of what's on the summary page of the program, and then we'll go into each tab individually in other videos in the future. Thank you.